Welcome to my channel, Sensitive Sojourner. Okay, so I'm going to talk about sirens and mermaids. And it's going to be conversational, so there's going to be probably pauses and, thought processes in between. But I want to talk about the sirens and the mermaids because I've been fascinated by water energy lately. And honestly, the idea of seduction, like water energy and seduction, the idea of like pulling in, right? I think of the waves, how waves, like the ebb and flow of waves, and how you can get pulled out further and further with waves, right? That's the idea of seduction, right? The pulling, right? So and it's funny because seduction is ruled by Neptune, and Neptune rules Pisces and it rules Sagittarius as well. So Pisces is basically, the fish, the two fish, but it rules like the ocean. Pisces is like that ocean energy. Sagittarius is I'm thinking of the star card, which is like the woman tempering with the water, right? Which is a little bit different, but I'm thinking honestly more of Pisces energy right now, the ocean and like the seductive energy of the ocean. And so that's siren and mermaid energy. So sirens and mermaids are basically like the same kind of creature, but sirens are seen as like the dark version of the mermaid, right? Or mermaids are seen as the lighter, better tempered version of the siren. And why this interests me is because I feel like as humans, and depending on your astrological chart, we embody these different kinds of energies without even, without realizing that we do. So I feel like especially feminine energies, masculines can as well, but I think it's particular for feminines how we'll use our siren energy, just like it can be like naturally innate to you, an innate power that you have. And you can look at your astrological chart to see what that might be for you. I'll get into that after. But so basically, the sirens, if you think about back, I believe back in Viking times, or like back with sailors, right? The sirens, the dark version of the mermaid, they would sit out on rocks and sing these hypnotic songs to pull in the sailors and then kill them. That was what they did, right? Like their innate purpose was to look beautiful and sing these kind of like hypnotic songs that would make the sailors or Vikings want to jump into the water, swim to them, and then they dead them, right? Whereas the mermaid may do the same thing. Think the little mermaid, she sit up on the rock and look at the boats and be interested, but she had no intention of like killing them or anything, right? She just was fascinated by it and would sing her beautiful song and then whatever, go back under the water. So it's the idea that the mermaid is better tempered. But it's kind of like the same energy, right? And so that kind of almost makes me think of karmic energy versus like light working energy, if you want to call it light working energy, right? Of like we can embody both just depending on what's going on, what our motive is at the time, and where we're at in life. Like I'm thinking like if the little mermaid, I don't know, if the little mermaid knew that she was going to be abused by one of those sailors, maybe she would be a siren and then try to attract the sailor to end him, right? So it's like that energy of like it depends on the motive, but then also the energy that you choose to embody on the day-to-day as well. But so as humans, I feel we embody the siren energy usually with our voices, right? You can think of singers that have that siren quality. One I'm thinking of particularly is Jhené Aiko, and she's a Pisces. And if you listen to her voice, she has that quality. Like, not to say necessarily siren or mermaid, you know, either way, the hypnotic quality of her voice kind of just like sends you into a trance, right? Like, she has that energy. I also think like Alex Isley has that vibe. And then I'm also thinking Alanis Morissette. Actually, not Alanis Morissette. I'm thinking of the Cranberries, the woman who sings in the Cranberries, because I'm thinking of that song where she's like, ooh, ooh, ooh. If you know what I'm talking about, if you know, you know. I don't even remember what that song is called, but it's kind of like that airy sound, you know, that you can, that echoes, and you can just kind of like hear it, and it pulls you and like entrances you, right? So that's how we also I feel like dancing is another way we can embody the siren quality, right? Seductive, right? I'm thinking belly dancers. The seduction of a belly dancer, moving the hips, right? And the hypnotic quality of the trance that belly dancers put you in, or just like, even I'm even thinking like whining, right? Like slow whining with the hips, it has the same quality, hypnotic quality. And so that's like that seductive energy of the siren that maybe comes innate to you, right? Maybe you naturally just kind of have that energy, like that's one of your skills, right? And you could use it for good or you could use it for evil depending on where you're at. um or maybe something more developed for you also, right? Like something that came with time. But it's good to know these qualities that you have and know how to use them, right? Because that's a part of your power. How you use them is up to you, right? But it's cool to know. It's cool to me to kind of be able to compare it to a mythical creature, right? It makes me feel like, oh, I'm a mermaid, or like I'm a this, I'm a that. And you could be like, I'm thinking of elves, or like there's so many mythical creatures that we embody, like serpent, like just all these different things, right? And even the serpent is kind of interesting, kind of that same like slithery energy, but a lot more sinister, like in a way, right? Then I'm also thinking, so the siren is supposed to be like half woman, half fish, but then I also read that it's half woman, half bird, which takes a different approach to me, because then it's like, oh, birds eat fish. Birds like hover over the water and dip in the water to grab fish, compared to the siren, the idea of like half woman, half fish sea creature that lives in the water. So I don't know. I guess that, it's just interesting that I saw both versions of that. So also how innately you use your mermaid or siren qualities could have to do with where you have water energy in your chart, but particularly Pisces or Sagittarius, right? So I'm thinking like, and this is kind of, from what I've noticed with my chart, I'm not going to go too deep in with it. Where I have Pisces, it makes sense for me. But if, let's say, like if you have your sun in Pisces, a Pisces sun, right? Sun is like kind of where you shine, where you have that natural shining quality. You may be have mermaid qualities, innate mermaid ways of being, right? An innate like light hypnotic way, right? Where you shine in that way. Or maybe you have your moon in Pisces, right? So the moon is kind of like that nighttime intuitive energy, which could honestly be positive or siren like. It could be a positive like, but the thing is, the moon rules like it, demons, it does, right? So it's like you maybe may find, and not only that you're a powerful intuitive, but that you can hypnotically attract people in a siren type of way, right? Like you maybe find that you have like a darker, deeper, seductive way of attracting somebody, you know? Or that maybe you find your motive may not always be, you know, just depending on the day. Like you may find that like that moon Pisces energy instills you with like this dark feminine energy. I'm thinking almost like Lilith, right? Like the Lilith asteroid, Lilith, which is another thing, but like that dark feminine, right? Then or if you have like Jupiter in Pisces, Jupiter in Sagittarius, or Venus in Pisces or Sag, seems like that would be that positive light energy coming in, that positive Pisces, like, and not to say that it can't also get dark, but that it may be more innate to you to use it in a light way, or for it to appear in a light way, right? Now, if you have it, let's say you have Saturn in Pisces, then you may find that you struggle with your Pisces energy, right? Like that energy, that Piscean attraction causes you lessons, even like lessons that stack up that you then have to learn from. Or maybe you have Pluto in Pisces, where you experience like deep transformational experiences from your siren energy, or that watery energy of you, right? And then it also matters what house you have it in. So like all of that together can show you how you use that energy and what ways you may be more likely to use it, right? So I'm trying to see, what else did I write down? That's honestly mostly it. So how to know if you may be part siren, you know? Do you have a smooth hypnotic voice? A calming, like, do people tell you like, oh, your voice is so, you know, relaxing or like hypnotizing, right? And it's a certain kind of voice. It's a certain kind, right? Like compared, there's just many different kinds of voices, but it's a certain kind of echoey quality. Are you a good dancer? Are you a good belly dancer, right? Or like groover with the hips? That all could be you're showing that, you know, you have that energy, or that like that you like using that energy innately, right? Or are you a seductive person? Do you find that you can easily seduce people, or like attract people to you from like your aura, you know? Like are you able to pull people in? That can prove and show that you have that energy, that siren energy, mermaid energy, right? Merman for the masculines, you know, because it is masculines. They use it in a different way, but you know, to be real, it is kind of the same seductive quality. It is. So it's cool to know. It's cool to be able to categorize it, right? There was something else I wanted to say. It might have slipped out, but I feel like yeah, I forgot it. It came and then it went. But knowing that about yourself, it's just a cool way to kind of put in your pocket what you're skills are as a human. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know when you're going to need them, or how you're going to use them. Like, it's true. It's just the reality of people. Knowing yourself helps you be the best version of yourself, or, you know, or the most cunning version of yourself, depending on how you're going to choose to go about it. But it's cool to know. So I just want to share that and talk about that because it's so cool to me. And I might do some other ones too. But that one's fascinating to me. Yeah. All right. So hope it helped. Hope it gave you some insight. And until next time.